I never liked the dark. Even as a child, shadows pressed against my chest like a weight, and going outside at night felt like stepping into an endless mouth. As an adult, I stopped going out altogether. Agoraphobia, they called it. Fine by me. The world had enough teeth without me offering my neck. So I made my world small. 4 walls, heavy curtains, locks on every door, and my pets, 6 of them. They were my family. Daisy the spaniel, Whiskey the ginger cat, the parakeets blue and green, old Max the tortoise, and Bumper the rabbit. They filled the house with noise and life, a heartbeat I could lean on when my own threatened to falter. But night ruined everything. The first time I noticed, I thought I was dreaming. I woke to Daisy's growl, low, guttural, not the happy bark I knew. When I sat up, she was standing in the corner. Her body lengthened, her mouth wide, teeth spilling out like broken glass. Whiskey slinked beside her, fur bristling, his face slack as if the bones beneath had softened and were shifting like clay. I blinked. They were normal again, tails wagging, eyes round and innocent. I told myself it was sleep paralysis, a trick of the mind. It wasn't. Every night since, they change. The parakeets are worst. They swell against their cage, feathers falling out in strips to reveal slick, pink skin beneath. Their beaks split down the middle, opening like claws. They don't sing anymore. They screech in tones that vibrate my teeth. Max drags himself across the floor with legs that no longer belong to a tortoise, but something spindly, jointed wrong, tapping at the tiles like spider legs. And Bumper! Sweet, twitching-nosed Bumper. He's the fastest. His fur sloughs off in patches, and when he runs, it sounds like fingernails scraping tile. I keep them locked in the basement after sundown. I built the cage myself, reinforced the doors, wore gloves so none of them would nip me in the process. But the sounds, oh God, the sounds. Their claws and teeth scrape metal. Their howls rattle through the vents. I stuff cotton in my ears, but I can still hear them whisper. They call my name. 6 voices layered and cracked, promising me warmth, family, belonging, if I just open the door. Sometimes they say things only I should know, memories from childhood, secrets I never told anyone. My pets shouldn't know those things. Daylight brings them back. Daisy licks my hand, tail wagging. Whiskey curls against my leg, purring. The parakeets chirp. Max crunches lettuce. Bumper nibbles hay. No trace of the horrors from the night before. Their eyes are soft again, begging me to believe. But I can't. I haven't slept properly in weeks. I've barred the windows, pushed furniture against doors, but they're changing faster now, growing stronger. The other night, the basement door bowed inward as Daisy threw herself against it. I watched the wood split. Only the nails I drove into the frame held. The whispers are no longer muffled. They fill the house, echoing down the hallway, seeping through the walls. Sometimes I hear them outside my bedroom door, clawing, dragging their bodies against the wood, telling me that dawn will never come again. I thought of letting them go, opening the door during the day, driving them out into the world. But what if they transform in someone else's house? What if they sink their teeth into children who don't know how to fight back? No, they're mine, my responsibility, my family. But family doesn't gnaw at your doors at night. Family doesn't sing your childhood nightmares back to you in voices that aren't theirs. I've started wondering if they were ever my pets at all. Sometimes, when I look at them in daylight, I see something behind their eyes. Something patient, something pretending. Like they're waiting for me to finally break. And maybe I have. I keep a hammer under my pillow now. Sometimes I carry it through the day, tapping the handle against my thigh just to feel its weight. I wonder if I'll need it when the last nail gives, when the hinges scream and the basement door swings wide. Because it will. I can hear it every night. Hinges straining, screws pulling free, the frame groaning like it's already being eaten alive. When it happens, I won't be able to run. Not out there, not into the world. And maybe that's the point. Maybe I was never supposed to fear the outside. Maybe the real terror was always waiting in here with me. I photographed nearly 200 weddings in my career. They all blur together after a while. Flowers, rings, nervous smiles, the same vows repeated in different voices. But I always loved my job. There's something sacred about capturing the start of someone's forever. That changed 6 months ago. It was the Cartwright wedding. A lavish ceremony in a cathedral, sunlight pouring through stained glass. I snapped the usual. The kiss, the smiles, the laughter, the dancing. But when I got home and scrolled through the images, I saw something I hadn't seen before. Behind the couple in their first dance stood a figure, thin, gray, faceless, its arms stretching like ropes toward the bride's back. Its mouth was nothing but a slit, wide and open, dripping shadows. No one else had noticed it, not the guests, not the couple. Only my camera. I deleted the shot immediately, telling myself it was lens flare, a trick of light. 2 weeks later, the Cartwrights vanished on their honeymoon. No trace, no bodies, just gone. The next wedding I shot, I checked the photos with dread. There it was again. A shape lingering near the couple, watching with hollow patience, sometimes more than one. They pressed close, their mouths like gashes, opening in silent hunger. And then came the disappearances. The Murphys, the Harlows, the Andersons, all gone within weeks of their ceremonies, vanished from hotel rooms, cruise ships, exotic islands. Police reports said nothing. Families wept. But I knew. I'd seen the things standing in the background of their joy, leeching the light from the pictures. The monsters feed on love. That's the only way I can describe it. They circle the newly bound like vultures. Their hands stretch invisible cords, hooking into the vows, the passion, the fragile hope that keeps two people clinging to one another. And then they drain it until nothing is left but silence. Sometimes I stare too long at the photographs. I swear I can hear them. A wet, sucking noise, a chorus of whispers threading through my thoughts. Forever is ours now. I tried to warn a couple once. I sat across from them, hands shaking, telling them not to go on their honeymoon, not to leave the safety of home. They laughed nervously, called me superstitious. A week later, they disappeared, their hotel room locked from the inside. Now, every wedding feels like a funeral I've been forced to attend. I raise my camera, watch their radiant smiles, and know what's coming. I'm the only one who sees the monsters standing just behind them, patient, waiting. At the Lawrence wedding, I watched one of them hover over the couple during their vows. As the groom said, "Till death do us part," its faceless head tilted in mockery, fingers brushing his cheek though he never flinched. When I reviewed the pictures later, it wasn't just behind them, it was leaning through them, its body blurred into theirs, as if claiming them already. They know I see them. At first, it was subtle. A glance, a slight tilt of a faceless head in my direction mid-shot. But at the last wedding, the creature wasn't in the background. It stood directly in front of the bride, obscuring her in the frame. Yet when I lowered the camera, she was still there, laughing, alive. My dreams are now filled with shredded veils and broken rings, with whispers that burrow into my skull. I've stopped taking bookings, but couples keep calling, keep begging. They say my work captures love like no other. They don't know why. It's because love shines brightest when death is near. Last night, as I flipped through old albums, I saw something I hadn't noticed before. The creatures aren't just in the recent weddings. They've always been there, lurking in the background of ceremonies I shot years ago. And when I looked closer, I saw one standing behind me in a reflection, long fingers hooked into my shoulders, its mouth wide as it pressed closer. I dropped the album and ran. But where can I run? They've been with me from the beginning, feeding, waiting. Now I catch glimpses of them without the camera. A shadow in my hallway. A gray hand brushing past me as I reach for my keys. Once I woke to find one crouched at the end of my bed, its faceless head tilting as if savoring me. I don't know why I can see them. I don't know why my lens reveals what the world ignores. But I know this. Every vow I capture is a death sentence. Every kiss is a meal bell. And someday soon, when my lens finally turns on me, I think it will be my turn. It hovered above the skyline, pale and ridged like stone, each finger wider than a highway. People froze, pointing upward, phones recording, until the first finger descended. It brushed against the crowd like an idle gesture. Hundreds disappeared at once. No time for screams, just gone as soon as contact was made. And the thing grew. By nightfall, it towered taller than the clouds, stretching across entire counties, its arms blotting out the moon. They weren't killing us for food or vengeance. They were erasing us by touch. Each time they absorbed a victim, their bodies expanded, spreading like a disease stitched into the sky. We called them the Colossi. I was lucky. I survived that first wave because I was already underground, shooting photos for a paper that no longer exists. But luck doesn't mean safety. The Colossi hunt by reaching. Their hands slide down streets, through windows, into subway tunnels. Anyone they brush against dissolves into nothing. There's no fighting them. Bullets disappear on impact. Missiles vanish mid-air. Whole aircraft carriers blinked out of existence when they touch the ocean, and each touch makes them bigger. Our only hope is the epicenter. That's what we call the place where the first one emerged. Satellite images show an impossible wound in the ground, something like a mouth opening into blackness. The Colossi pour from it. If we don't stop it, they'll blanket the earth until there's nothing left to absorb. There's a pack of us left, 5 now, though we started with 12. We travel spread apart, hundreds of feet between us, because proximity is death. One hand comes down and takes us all if we're clumped. Spread out, there's a chance some will keep moving. Every night is a gamble. We can hear them shifting above us, their joints groaning like earthquakes. Sometimes when one brushes the hills in the distance, we see forests disappear like sand, blown away by wind. I can still feel the static in the air when they get close, like the world itself is shivering. We've lost so many. Sarah was the first, screaming as a hand blotted out the stars above her, reaching into the canyon where we camped. There was no sound when she was taken. Then Jacob. He refused to spread out. Said he didn't believe in the rules anymore. He was gone the next morning. Last night, Marcus didn't make it. He slept too close to me, and when I woke, the space beside me was empty. Just a smooth indentation in the dirt where his body had been. I ran without looking back. It's cruel, but we've learned to listen for silence. Birds, insects, even the wind vanish when they're near. The Colossi don't step or walk. They stretch, fold, ripple. Their presence is like the void itself, leaning down to taste you. 2 days ago, we saw one lean over a ruined city, brushing entire skyscrapers away like dust on a desk. The sound it made as it grew was wet, splitting, like bone forced to bend. It kept expanding until its body covered the horizon, an endless sheet of gray that blocked the sun. I don't know how much longer the world has. There's less of it each day. Highways gone, rivers gone, land erased, folded into the bodies of the things that now crawl across the planet. But the epicenter is close. We can smell it now, pure rot. The ground shakes constantly, pulsing as if the earth itself has a heartbeat. Every survivor who's lasted this long knows we'll have to go inside it, into the mouth, and burn the source. If it can be burned, the others say we'll make it. They still cling to that thin wire of hope, but I see how the Colossi lean when we walk, how their faceless heads tilt in unison. They're watching, they're waiting, and when I dream, I feel their fingers brushing my skin, lingering, testing. They don't just want to end us. They want us to join them, folded into something so massive that no one will ever remember what it was like to be human. We keep walking anyway, spread out, each step carrying us deeper into a narrowing world. If you find these words, it means I didn't make it. It means they touched me. And if they touched me, then by now, they're even bigger.